My boyfriend wants me to be a traditional wife. I refused.
Looks like he's going to have to go window shopping somewhere else.
That's right, brother. Throwaway for context, I, 23 female, left the country 2 years ago just after college graduation. I also broke up with my ex, 24 male, because I didn't want to do long distance and our beliefs didn't align anymore. Well, that sounds emotionally mature.
All right.
We both come from the same culture and dated throughout college, but while I wanted to move abroad and study further, considering the safety of women in my home country, his plans were that he would stay and take care of his family. We were both the eldest children of our families. By the way, this comes from user GarageFuzzy4367 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Neither of us was technically willing to adjust. However, what made me dump him was that he just turned into a different person in the last months of the relationship. He wanted me to act like a traditional woman if we were to have a proper family. He would constantly say things like, women have been historically adjusting for their loved ones, and can you say every single woman was unhappy about it? And why are you so selfish? Does our future not matter to you? Do you trust me enough to take care of you? And all of that stuff. Heck, he even got his mom and sister to call me and tell me if I was ready for them to talk to my parents about marriage. Luckily, my dad handled it because rejecting matches, especially if the couple dated beforehand, would cause a scandal in my community. It felt like I was the one who had to sacrifice my happiness in the first place because of tradition. I also didn't grow up in a conservative family like him, and my parents told me to get the heck out of the relationship. I broke up with them, and our friend groups were merged, but everyone decided not to take sides, so there was no drama.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I have been single for the last 2 years and have traveled a lot, and I plan to get residency after a few years here. This was the first time I went back home after 2 years because my cousin just had a kid. I did not intend to see or call my ex, but I met up with my college friends, and most of them, including my ex, live in my hometown. So I knew to see all my friends, I had to see him. It was so awkward, but we were both silent and just nodded at each other, and I thought that would be it. But one of his friends started talking about his fiance, and he is a bit of an a-hole, so he said, OP, I'm so glad you left your ex behind because you didn't want to be happy in our traditional families. Now another will get to experience the real meaning of family, a joint Indian family. I just laughed it off awkwardly, and a couple of people shushed him. My close friends were very embarrassed and promised that both my ex and that guy would not be invited over again. But my ex left me a text. He got a second number on how his friend was just defending him because I was flaunting my new life when I obviously wanted my ex to be hurt by it. That I dumped him for just a better degree.
As she should. This guy stinks.
If y'all don't share the same values, y'all don't need to be married.
I hate that it was super mature at the beginning and now it's turned into this.
No, it sounds like she's mature and he's not.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, she has the awareness to be like, hey, this just wasn't working. And he's like, you're just showing off that your life's so cool without me.
Yeah, he's looking at her Instagram, super sad.
I told him this was why I left you and I blocked him. Boom.
Boom.
The thing is, I have been guilty about it for the last 2 years. And while I know I did the right thing for my career, maybe I should have tried not to hurt his feelings in such a direct way. I feel horrible for his fiance, as both of them know he doesn't love her. It's an arranged match. And I feel had I had a better approach, maybe another person wouldn't have been added to the mix. I feel like I was just a heartless person, as my ex says, in dumping him as I did, just because of our different beliefs. Am I the a-hole?
No. There's this thing called gaslighting, and you are the victim of it.
I'm going to read you back exactly what you said at the beginning of the story. Let's see. Yes, I left the country 2 years ago after college graduation, and I broke up with my ex because I didn't want to do long distance, and our beliefs didn't align anymore. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. You don't want this guy or his beliefs in your life, so it makes perfect sense for you to break up with him.
And you want to travel, and you're celebrating that through your Instagram, and he's just jealous that he's not there.
Yeah. And if he wants to be, if he wants to throw accusations at you that you're purposefully trying to hurt his feelings, you have every right to be like, no, I'm not. And this exact behavior is why I don't think we would ever work.
I've made a promise to myself that I will never look at my ex's profile whenever we broke up. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself to it.
Yeah, not stalking your ex is definitely a good way to not torture yourself. I wasn't going to do an update I just wanted to ask the internet, which is a stupid place to go, I know, but I needed a neutral opinion because people around me either hate my ex or hate me. I'm still at my parents' and I told my dad what happened in the gathering. He chalked it up to my ex being jealous and insecure, and he told me not to interfere and feel sorry for his fiance because if she is marrying him, then she must know what she's getting into. I mean, that's not necessarily true, but at the same time, it's like, it's not your responsibility, OP.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with the dad.
yeah. I mean, it's also like him being insecure, like a little baby, is like a perfect example of why you don't want to marry this guy.
And you saw that and you clocked that and you got out.
After blocking my ex a couple days ago, I actually managed to have the courage enough to ask him through a mutual friend to meet me. Again, I didn't go alone, and our mutual friend was there the entire time in case there would be a shouting match or a scene. We never had any closure after I broke up with him. I just left. And even though I told him why I was breaking up with him, I never addressed all of our problems. And when I fell out of love and how he started to feel like a suffocating presence because of his judgment towards my life choices. We met at our friend's house, and he apologized for his friend, and he said his friend was just being protective. I said I didn't care, and that I was sorry if I hurt him so badly that even after getting engaged, he was mad at me. And that was kind of like low key. You're like, yeah, sorry I made you so mad you can't forget me.
It's like a dagger in between the ribs.
I know many people may call me a doormat for saying sorry, but I did it for my peace of mind. I don't want to keep any regrets, not from my side. Can we please normalize prioritizing our peace of mind instead of like winning or losing? Just whatever makes you feel the best and doesn't hurt anybody.
Dang, get this girl on a TED Talk. How to break up 101.
My ex did not scream, but he looked agitated and spoke for a while, and I listened. His main problem was not with me dumping him, but the fact that I have always flaunted that I was out of his league. For context, my family is technically well off, and my family has mostly liberal people. So not only are children in my family not taught that much gender roles, most relatives, including my parents, never approve of their kids marrying into a religious family. How that made me flaunt anything, I still don't get. To sum it up, my ex said that I made him feel like he was never good enough for me to marry him. I certainly didn't love him enough, or I'd compromise, and he has only felt inadequate our entire relationship because I acted like I was too good for his joint family, where wives and mothers are still expected to wake up at the butt crack of dawn because women. Why are you flaunting your autonomy? You need to be waking up early and doing my chores.
Yes, you need to cook me a sandwich.
It hits different when you say cook me a sandwich.
Yep. See, I'm not misogynistic. I don't know how to say ask that of a woman.
I feel like it's actually even more misogynistic because you don't even know how sandwiches work. He also said that his fiance will always respect his mom. I've never disrespected his mom, to be clear. And his mother said ultra-modern women don't make good wives. You're just dodging a bullet here.
Yeah, because they make good people.
He also told me that he felt like I keep on flaunting a picture-perfect life abroad, and he felt awful because he lost me because he wasn't born as privileged as I was, and he was stuck here. I didn't feel like I needed to explain anything more to him after he was done speaking. It was okay. Honestly, it's kind of relieving that he is a bit of a red pill idiot and that I hadn't caused actual damage to a genuinely good person. But by the way, we never want to cause any actual damage to any of you good people. When you join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. when we go live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch, all you got to do is tap our profile and you're in, and we might even be live right now. Before you check on that though, let's finish this story. For everyone watching, exactly what OP said at the beginning of the story is like a perfect example of how to determine whether or not you want to be with somebody, right? If you don't want to be in a long distance relationship, but you'd have to be long distance. And if you do not share the same values as the person that you're with and you can see down the tunnel that like it's going to come to a head and y'all are never going to agree on that stuff, it's not a good enough fit to get married. Now, can you like casually like date somebody like that? Like, sure.
Oh, yeah.
But getting married to somebody like that?
That's the reason why people date, to determine that they want to marry someone.
Right.
And she did that. And she did that well.
You date to determine what you like, what you don't like, what are your values, what do you want someone else who will be your partner's values to be? You know, it's not like you have to date a carbon copy of, you know, your own thoughts, but like you need to align on certain things.
Yeah.
And I think clearly the way that he viewed women was not anyway aligned with
how
you
view
or your
women.
family's views.
Yeah.
So, good job, OP.
Good freaking job.
The only part that stung was when he said I had a picture-perfect life abroad because I don't have that. It's a new country, a new culture, and a new language, And while the quality of life may be more, and I have my good days, that doesn't mean I don't struggle. I miss my language, my home, and my parents a lot. Just because you post selfies of places doesn't mean life is all sunshine and roses, unlike what social media thinks. It was relieving, ultimately. I don't think I even know what closure actually means, and technically, I'm doing good in life, all things considered. I will be okay, mostly. Thank you, guys. You were all very nice in the replies. And that is the end of that story.